Welcome back from the banana training. I hope you learned a thing or two. For those sending the questions, thank you very much. You see a question from Semayengo Joseph. He wanted to know something about banana suckers. Another one from Marofu Stephen Wamburu wants to know something about innovations in bananas. Yes, the banana team is around, and we shall be getting to those in a bit. Right now, we shall be diving into yet another interesting training, something about organic vegetables. Yes, organic vegetables, the things you're seeing behind me here. I don't know whether my camera can show you. The things behind here, the cabbages, we have the tomatoes. So we shall be getting through those. We want to see how do we prepare a tomato garden, how do we treat it, and then how do we add value to whatever we are getting from the garden. However, I also have a very interesting gentleman that I want to introduce to you, the director for this institute. Dr. Tushemerere, please come over. Dr. Tushemerere here, he will introduce himself more, but he's the director for this institute. You can use this microphone. Yes. Okay, Dr. Tushemerere, good evening.
Oh, good evening.
Yes. To start with,
yes.
How has this Farm Clinic initiative helped Naro to achieve its objectives? And taking a case of where here we are today at Kawanda, where do you think this can take us? Briefly, you can use about 2 minutes, then we shall go into the trainings.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. This training, this activity has been very, very useful to us as Naro, because it's an opportunity for us to showcase what we have as an organization. And we have very many things. And secondly, ideally, we would have wanted to invite people to come and see what we have. And that's what has happened at other institutes. But unfortunately, because of COVID, we are not able to do that. So this is an opportunity for us to show you, even when we can't invite you here, it's an opportunity to show you still what we have without bringing you to our institute. And let me now use this opportunity to thank Monitor Publications for helping us to organize this. Monitor Publications, thank you. And the others who have supported us in this, like Stanbic. The other one is NTV, of course, and NSSF. We thank you all. We thank those sponsors for what they've put in. But where we are standing now, these plots we are standing in, you see vegetables around. I hope you are able to see vegetables around. We work here in a partnership with our Korean friends who are from the program of the Korea program on international agriculture. The Korean program on international agriculture. And we have the director of the institute, or rather the director of the program, Dr. Park, who is here with us. Since he's here, I want him to come briefly and greet you, then we continue.
Everyone, nice to meet you in the meetings. As you know, Korea is the world best technology in the world, so in production and the quality. In order to share our advanced technology with friendly countries, Uganda. Uganda Korea Center established 6 years ago in here. So we are supporting with budget and advanced technology for orange, potato, pasta, and field pea, rice, and chicken, 6 projects. However, in the future, we will expand another many fields. if Uganda farmers become happier, it will be considering it by most the world. In the future, our Uganda Coffee Center will do our best to introduce to Uganda farmers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Park. The friends, vegetables are extremely important, and in Uganda sometimes we don't value them that much, but Korea, where Park comes from, vegetable is probably the most important next to meat. Vegetables come very close to meat in importance, and they produce them without using dangerous pesticides like we do here. And that's what we are going to learn. We are going to learn how to produce these vegetables without using pesticides. But we do several other things here. You've already heard about what we do on bananas. The other thing we do that we'll show you next time. Today we are only showing you vegetables and bananas, how to produce them effectively, how to make money from them. But we also have agricultural engineering at this institute. Next time we will take you through what we do in agricultural engineering, how we produce machines that make farm labor easier, and machines you can use to do processing, machines you can use to do all sorts of things. We also have food science activities at this institute. We produce new products for the markets. We do research on safety of the foods you eat and how to package them very well. Then we have activities on how to manage the health of soils and the environment, and how to take care of the climate, which is changing rapidly. We are doing a lot of research in those areas, and we have information which we will again show you. And finally, another thing that we have at this institute is conserving the biodiversity that we have in this country. Everything that God created has a value. We might be knowing the value now, or rather not knowing the value now, but we need to preserve it, because that value will be known in the future, and it will be useful. So we are conserving all the diversity in this country, and those of you who have visited our Entebbe Botanic Gardens, which is part of this institute, you have seen some of the many things that we are conserving. And there are many other centers in this country where we are conserving seeds and other plant genetic resources. Those are the things that we have at Kawanda. For now, I wish you good viewing, and Monita, thank you very much for organizing this.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tushemerere and your partners from Copia. Well, if my time is right, it is exactly 9 minutes past 5, and I want now to bring in our trainer for this session, Doreen Nampamia. Doreen, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes, maybe you can briefly tell us about what we are going to be learning today, and then we can push on from there. Thank you.
Good evening, our dear viewers. We are happy to have you today. We are happy that we are going to share with you some of the knowledge we have, because we really have a lot. We can't share in the few minutes we have, but we are going to share a few things with you which we can. Before I start, I would like to thank all the partners who have put up this idea, because we do a lot of things, but they don't reach the farmers. So today, we are really happy that there is an opportunity to share a few things we have. Here we are doing the vegetable growing, organic vegetable growing. We have a vegetable demonstration with various vegetables, and through these activities we do, we have managed to prepare a few literature to share with farmers. Our center is free for visiting for any of the farmers, and you can visit at any time you want. We are found in Kawanda, Narrow Kawanda, that's where we are found. We have a few information materials on vegetables. As you can see, the tomato production manual. If you get this one, you can know what to do with your tomato growing in everything. We have the eggplant. We have the common pests and diseases of vegetables in Uganda. All this done by the Narrow researchers. Then we have the Chinese cabbage production manual. This is a new vegetable that is mostly wanted by the international restaurants. They use it so much in their cooking. So this is something that farmers should venture in. It's not yet done so much here in Uganda. So if a farmer does this one, a single cabbage goes for 5,000 shillings. So if a farmer can produce this one, you're sure that you can get enough money and you can be able to transform from one level to the other. Then we have cucumber production manual. This cucumber is mostly recommended. Every healthy part talks about using cucumber. So growing cucumbers is also something that is good for farmers to venture in, especially in the urban areas. Then the cabbage production manual. Then we have also the simple brochures you can use. So all these are available free. If you visit, you can be taken through different production practices and you can have one of these. So right now, we are going to see a few things about land preparation. We want to produce these vegetables and produce them well. So we start with preparing our land, and we have to know how to prepare our land.
Okay, Doreen, as we move, we can move down there. So as we move, what I want to know is the books you've talked about. Are they free? If a farmer wants to get that information, is it free? If it is not free, at what cost? At how much? At how much can a farmer get that information?
The information materials I've talked about are all free. These are information materials produced by Narrow Uganda, with funding from COPIA, the Korean government. So the Korean government has supported the Narrow activities, and we produce the information materials. The information materials are free of charge. If you visit the institute, you're first taken to different practices, then after you can have it for free. There is no paying. You take it for free, because what they want to see is you moving from one level to another with a changed income. So the information materials are free of charge. So here I'm standing under a low-cost greenhouse. We all know that vegetables are delicate crops to grow. So these vegetables are mostly disturbed by the rain. The rain splashes, when they splash on the vegetables, the soil splashes on the vegetables, and that's when we start seeing very many diseases, especially the fungal diseases and the soil-borne diseases. So this is a low-cost greenhouse which can be constructed cheaply using local materials. We have these are trees. The poles can be locally got. All you have to do is treating the pole. Then the only thing that you can get expensively is that sheet. But this one is easy to use. So it protects the vegetables. You can be able to regulate the water you use. You can be able to regulate the amount of sunshine that goes in. So this is something that's recommended for farmers. It is much cheaper than the sister one we see there, which is a little expensive and may not be easily done by a farmer which is starting to develop him or herself. So now we go to the land preparation. In our land preparation, we do three times. If we are opening a new land, we do 3 times. The first time is for opening, then the second time you're breaking the clods, the big ones, then the third time you're making the fine tills for the vegetables to easily grow. So now, for us here, we've been using this area more times. So for an area that is not new, we do 2 times of ploughing. The first time is to open up the soil. You do this one here. So the first time you open up the soil like you see there. To loosen up the soil from the previous crop. So first time you open up the soil like that. Then after opening up the soil, what we do is apply manure. So farmers, you can use what is locally available to you. For us here, we use compost, which we make from chicken manure, mixed with the weeds we collect from our own field. These weeds we collect, they have many nutrients in them. So the weeds we collect from the field are the ones we mix with the chicken manure and we make the compost. The process takes 3 months. Then you have your compost, and it is a continuous process that we continuously do here. So this one you mix with soil. You mix with soil, so you can use approximately 10 to 20 tons per hectare, depending on the particular vegetable you are working with. Because some vegetables like cabbages, they require much feeding compared to others, let's say onions. So here we are doing the mixing. After first ploughing, we apply the compost and do the mixing. You make sure that you thoroughly mixed, and the compost has to be free decomposed. You can use cattle manure, you can use chicken manure, you can use any organic manure that is available to you. So after doing this, we do the final ploughing to make sure that the land is really final. Like he's doing, we are doing the final ploughing. You make sure that it's really mixed in, and you have to give it time to fully decompose. Let's say if you do this, you should give it at least 1 to 2 weeks for the manure to fully decompose through the soil and fully mix through the soil. So after this, we do the preparation, the final preparation for growing of our vegetables. I'm going this side. So what we do here, our vegetables, we grow them on ridges. These ridges are measured and made depending on the particular vegetable you are going to make and the plant spacing of that particular vegetable. So like for example here, we are doing the tomatoes. So we make a ridge which is 80 centimeters because we want to use the 60 centimeters spacing. We want to use spacing 60 centimeters, tomato 60 centimeter by 6 centimeter. So we make the ridge 80 centimeters, then make a hole, which is, this is 60, we leave 10 centimeters this side, 10 centimeters this side. The reason is the plant has to feed, and we need that space where the plant can feed from. Then the reason we also use the ridges is that you can easily do all your farm practices without affecting the plant. The lines left in between is for walking through. During spraying, weeding, and all the management activities, you are not supposed to step in the ridge where the plant is. So this ridge is made to make sure that if I stand here, I'm able to touch in the middle. If I touch the other side, I'm able to touch in the middle. So the ridge should not be so big that you cannot do everything without stepping in. This ridge is made 20 to 30 centimeters from down to allow the water, because this ridge also helps in water conservation. It keeps enough water within itself so that the crop can easily grow. You don't need many watering periods. You don't need, because the ridge can do everything, can hold enough water, enough nutrients. Then we are going to demonstrate how we do our planting. Our planting is uniquely done. using the new technologies. I think next time we shall go through the seedling. First, how to prepare the seedlings. So after getting this seedling, you should make sure that it is hardened and it has more than 4 leaves. So after measuring 10 centimeters this side, 10 centimeters this side, 60 centimeters spacing. So we make our hole. We make our hole. After making a hole, we do watering. We apply water because the crop needs the water to grow. If you are working in a field that it has just rained and there is enough water in the soil, you may not need to do the watering. If you did not apply the manure at the time of land preparation, you can use fully decomposed chicken manure. You put first in the hole, you mix with the soil and add more soil and put your seedling. But since we prepared our land very well, so now we are going to do the planting. So you get your good seedling. For example, this one, it has more than 4 leaves and it is healthy. So after getting the seedling, you put in a well-watered hole. Then you plant, you cover with the soil. The covering with the soil, you should not cover the first leaves. The first leaves of the crop should not be covered when you're planting. For example, this one. These are the first leaves. So that the plant from here up to here is accustomed to withstand all soil conditions. So your soil should not exceed this point. If the soil exceeds this point, your plant is likely to suffer from many soil-borne diseases. So we focus on leaving these 2 leaves out while planting or covering with the soil. That means that your hole for planting should not be too long. So this is our seedling after planting. So after planting, we also do watering because we don't want our crop to wither. After planting, we do watering. If you're very keen, for the first time when we are watering the hole, we watered empty like this because there is no crop and we want much water to go in. But when you have finished planting, you specifically use this one. You make sure this is there with the holes because you don't want our plant to have much, to be affected by the water condition. So you make sure this is there. You should not water the crop using just a can without the tip. So that is it. So we are going to look at, after I've planted my crop, what happens next? What will I do? How will I look after my crop? What are the challenges I'm likely to see? How should I manage those challenges? How long should I wait to harvest? And then we shall also be able to see how to manage the pests and diseases organically.
Okay, thank you, Doreen. That was quite informative. So, something that I want to know. Vegetables are one of those crops that are easily attacked by pests. We can be walking over here. Those that are easily attacked by pests. What kind of pests are these and how can they be treated? Briefly, as we cross over to the next garden.
We have various pests and diseases, but apparently the most dangerous one is called Tuta absoluta. I have my colleague here. He has more details about what is next. What do you find in management of these vegetables? Today we are using tomato because most farmers around are doing tomatoes and it is somehow the most hard to manage. So today we are focusing much on tomatoes, but most of these activities cut across most vegetables. So right now you are going to my colleague to get more details.
Good evening, viewers. I'm called Karija Marcial Christmas. I will take you through management of tomato field after transplanting. So as we've seen how to transplant and the soil preparation in the beginning, we would like also to look at how you can manage your tomato plant in order to give you good harvests. First of all, when we talk of management, we need to talk about water retention and other agronomic practices that you can do on the farm in order to get good products. Here, we grow our plants on ridges because we want the soil to have good drainage. Remember, this is now a rainy season, and if we grow these tomatoes or any other crop on a flat ground, they will get a lot of water, and when they get a lot of water, they will die off because we have so many soil-borne diseases which are related to a lot of water or water logging. If there is water logging, it's a problem in our garden. So that's why we have ridges of this kind. And our ridges are not vertical because we don't want soil erosion to take place. As you can see, this area is not flat, so we couldn't make vertical ridges because we didn't want soil erosion to take place. Hence, the horizontal ridges. My colleague Doreen told you about planting transplanting these tomato plants, and you don't put it deep. This tomato plant was not deep because we didn't want the soil-borne diseases to affect this tomato when it is still young. Actually, this is where the technique is. If we plant it deep, it means soil organisms, those which are dangerous, like the bacteria, the fungi, they will easily affect the stem. And when they affect the stem, the whole plant will die off. We have diseases like crown rot, which normally comes and attack the stem and the roots. So normally its symptoms is that you can see the black patch here. Like here, if it has a crown rot, you can see dark patch, and you see the leaf dying off. When the leaves die off, of course that is a loss. So how do you control it? You control it when you are transplanting. Yes, when you are transplanting is how you control it. And here we use organic. So in organics, we have so many techniques. We don't have to use a lot of pesticides or chemicals. Leaving out management, we have also staking. Now, staking helps us in producing good quality fruits. Imagine you find a fruit which is full of soil. No one would buy. Of course, farmers, you know it very well. No one can buy a fruit which is of poor quality. But like this one, which has no soil, when you produce it, you can even take it to the supermarket or any other marketplace. Hence, a good quality produce has a high demand, and you get a lot of money. On the side of pests and diseases, we have a wide range of pests and diseases that affect tomatoes. And most of them, actually, especially the diseases, they affect also the potato farmers because the tomato and the potatoes fall in the same family. So the pesticides and the fungicides I'm going to describe, prescribe, can as well work on what? On potato farmers. Okay, you can follow me. Let me talk about the pests first. We have some common pests. We have so many pests, but I will talk about the most common ones. And the most common one and dangerous one being the fruit fly, like these ones you see in this bottle. It's called the fruit fly. It affects the fruits. And how does it affect the fruit? When the fruit is ripe like this one, and it has this enemy, you can look at it and it is ripe, but when you harvest it and take it home, within 3 days, it's rotten. Some people have experienced it by buying mangoes or watermelon or tomatoes, cucumber from the market, and within 2 days, the things are rotten down. And what is the problem? This is the most dangerous enemy when it comes to fruits of tomatoes, mangoes, and other kind of fruits. And we have another important enemy. This enemy is called Tuta absoluta. It's a moth, new in Uganda. I think we've known it 4 years ago. It's very new, but it's the most dangerous, I can say. It can affect the roots. It can affect the roots, stems, flowers, and leaves, and even fruits actually. So you can see, if you have it on the garden, there's no way you can get money. Actually, here we experienced it some 2 years ago, and it caused the loss 100%. We lost the whole season before we knew about it. So farmers, you must avoid this one, and you can trap it using a pheromone trap. We have pheromone trap. It's a combination of so many things, but this is the most important one. This one smells like a female tuta, and the males will come for mating. So when they come for mating, they will find a sticky glue on this board. This is a sticky board. It has glue. So when they come here, of course they can't run away since it is sticky, and hence they suffocate and die off. So when these males die off, the female ones will lay unfertilized eggs, and hence those eggs will never hatch. So within a period of time, you will find the generation keeps on reducing, and after a period like 5 months, you will not see any other kind of tuta. You will have solved the problem actually. Another enemy that we have is what you call the thrips. The thrips are also dangerous enemies. We have thrips and white flies. White flies are those white insects, and the thrips, they are normally common in tomatoes, especially when you are growing in the greenhouse, even outside. And for them, they are very difficult to control with pesticides, even if you are using inorganic. Even if you are using inorganic pesticides, you are just going to cause toxicity in the plant of killing these insects. So what you have to do is to use sticky traps. These sticky traps have an attractive color. So with this attractive color, these insects will come when they want to see this color. It could be blue, it could be yellow, it could be white, but as long as it is one color, it is normally attractive to these insects. So when they come, they find a sticky glue on that board, and hence they can't run away, because this is like super glue, those who know super glue. So they can't run away, they suffocate and die off. Now, another measure, all these are integrated pest management practices. Another measure of avoiding use of pesticides is by pruning. When you prune by removing excess leaves, it means these insects will not have any chance of hiding. But if you have so many leaves, the insects will have chances of hiding inside those leaves, and even if you spray, the pesticide is not enough, you use a lot of money, and you are not seeing anything. Whenever you make a business of tomato production, you get a loss because you are putting a lot of pesticides. So when you prune, it can help you use very, very little pesticide. Whether you're using organic, whether you're using inorganic. We have organic concoction, we have ourselves. On the part of diseases, we have common diseases on the list, and the first one is called blight, anti-scat, and early blight. Late blight being the most dangerous. I have put a note, the most dangerous one, because once it appears in your garden, within a period of 2 days, even if there are 10 acres, it can go away. 2 acres within a period of 2 days. So you have to avoid it. And how can you avoid it? You have to put things that can control it, which I'm going to show you in the next step. So the things that can control the blight, whether it is late or early, they can help you organically. And we have another one, which is very, very common. I saw one which was having calcium deficiency. Some of other diseases, you can call them diseases, but this is not a disease, but it's calcium deficiency. It has no such and such nutrients. So that please, the soil has no enough calcium. And how do you solve that one? We are going to look at how you can solve that problem of calcium deficiency in case you have it. We have to note it very well that we need calcium and potassium. But when you have calcium, you cannot have potassium, enough potassium at the same time. So if you have potassium, you can't have enough calcium at the same time. If you have calcium, then you can't have enough potassium at the same time. So farmers, in this case, I advise you to first take your soil for sampling so that you can know which one is exactly in your soil. And in addition to that, you can get that blossom end rot, not because you don't have enough calcium, but because you don't have enough water in the soil, most especially during dry season. So farmers have experienced a lot of challenges like that, because they normally ask themselves, why do I have all these challenges? But the technique is only one. If it is tomato or any other plant, it can survive only if you give it enough nutrients, enough water. Water is life. So make sure you have enough water and it is not excess. If it is excess, then you get other diseases. So let's go to and look at how we can prepare these organic pesticides. I'll start with calcium. Okay. So here we are. We are going to look at how we can make concoctions organically in order to control common diseases. Now, common diseases, one of them I mentioned is blossom end rot. And I told you that you can solve it by applying calcium. But that calcium, this is a reminder note, that calcium must be water-soluble calcium at that moment. Because remember, you have seen a deficiency and the tomato is already growing, and tomato is a fast-growing crop. So if you bring the other calcium which is not water-soluble, it means it will not easily be absorbed by the plant. So farmers, you must not forget that one. So here we are going to look at how you can use eggshells. When I talk of eggshells, these are common eggshells. You can get them from the chapati stores, from chicken breeders, or even from your home when you enjoy your eggs and you get them and you dry them up. When you dry them up, you crush them to this level, and then from there you crush them like this. And this means you need a mortar. You may not be having a mortar or a mixer, but you can get this local mortar or even a stone so that you can crush. For us, what we want is that your eggshells are of tiny particles like these ones. And then the other thing that you need in this water-soluble calcium is vinegar, like this one. Now, we are not going to use each and every vinegar because some of the vinegars are not organic. Some of the vinegar brands or materials where they have made them. So we prefer this white vinegar, which is made from vegetables. Then the other one is the rice vinegar. Actually, that if you can get the rice vinegar, that could be the best. And then we are going to ferment our eggshells in order to extract calcium. The formulation is 50 grams. You get 50 grams in 1 liter of vinegar, 50 grams of eggshells in 1 liter of vinegar. Right now, I don't have a liter, so I'm going to use 25 grams of eggshells, and I mix them in 500 mils or a half a liter of vinegar. Oh, sorry. So you have to be accurate enough. You measure your eggshells. I said I'm going to use 25 grams. Yes, exactly 25 grams. And I mix them in 500 mils of vinegar. It's better if you have an opaque container which doesn't allow light to penetrate. It would be better, but for a case of demonstration, I decided to use this one, which can allow light to enter. So after adding your eggshells, you add vinegar. Now this vinegar, this one is 100 mils. So I'm going to use 5 bottles in order to make what? 500. Add the third one. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. So after here, you have to cover, but don't tighten it, because if you tighten it, it can make a bomb. So don't tighten it because it is going to ferment over a period of 7 days. So you have to cover a little bit, don't tighten it, and take it into a cool dry press. And the press should be dark, shouldn't be light. There shouldn't be some light, because it will keep like fermenting for a period of 7 days. Then after 7 days, you come, you open it, and you filter. So when you filter, you take it to your garden. You have to measure 40 mils. When you are controlling, you haven't seen any deficiency, calcium deficiency, but you expect it to be there because maybe your soil samples showed that you don't have enough calcium in the soil. So what you do, you have to, after transplanting, you have to keep putting calcium filtrate whenever you are spraying. You can mix it together with the pesticide or fungicides when you are spraying. So whenever you spray, after 14 days, you put 40 mils. Okay? And after seeing the deficiency, that like the way we have seen the other side, and your tomatoes are still young, you've seen that there is a deficiency. Now you increase the concentration to 80 grams, to 80 mils in 20 liters of water. Calcium is finished.
The procedure is already documented in the information materials I told you about. So if you visit here, you can be able to get this and you follow at home and make the same for your crops.
You can remove this. And the next is egg yolk mixture. Now, in the egg yolk mixture, we need materials like the jar, the eggs. In the egg, we need the yellow part. That is the egg yolk. And it's better if you use the local eggs, because the local eggs, and don't produce this local chicken in the confined area and you think this is a local egg. No, it will no longer be local. Actually, to get a yellow egg yolk, you have to feed them on greens so that they can get yellow yolk. Then the other one, we need oil, the cooking oil, which is very common, but we need the organic one, the one which is cholesterol free. Okay? And in this case, that means we shall use sunseed because it is cholesterol free. And we need also some water ranging from 300 mils to 500 mils. So you put your water in the jar. Okay. And then the next step, you get your oil. Now, if we are putting this egg yolk for control purposes, for preventive measures, we use 50 mils of oil. 50 mils of cooking oil. But we all know that oil doesn't mix with what? With water. So what do we do? In order for the two to mix up, we get an egg. Because the egg yolk has some cells that have two parts, the one that is water loving and the one that is oil, the one that is water hating and the other one water loving. So when these cells are available in between the oil and water, they make the two join up. That is 1. I intend to use only 2. I don't need the albumen, the white part of the egg. I just need the yellow one, the yellow part of it. And thereafter, we mix up using a blender. But make sure the mixer that we are using is not the one that you use in your kitchen. So this is a soluble liquid. There's no difference between water. You can't distinguish water and you can't distinguish the oil alone. Then after that, now at this stage, you can decide. You can spray using this one, but if you have seen a particular challenge in your garden, you want to control pests, then you add in the pesticide. Now the pesticide that we use is neem oil, nimbecidine. Neem oil is a plant extract and is organic in nature. So the neem oil, we use only 5 grams. 5 mils, sorry. Okay, you put your neem oil and then you mix again. Now after mixing, remember we put 2 eggs, so which means you can mix up 40 liters of water. Now instead of neem oil, you can add a fungicide. You need copper. Sorry. You can add a fungicide. Now we have fungicide which are recommended in organic production. There is the copper-based fungicides, and in the copper-based fungicides, the most important one is copper oxychloride. Copper oxychloride, you can mix 5 grams, or if you don't use copper, you can use sulfur, but sulfur must be micronized sulfur in organic production. We have so many kind of sulfur, but in this case we use micronized sulfur. So that is how you can prepare your organic pesticides and calcium. So viewers, I hope you have got something. So next time we are going to make good businesses, organic ones. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, the vegetable team. This has been quite informative. This blender here, is it the only recommended one to be used, or we can get it? I don't know. For a farmer who doesn't have that kind.
You can mix up using a stick.
A stick.
But make sure you have to use, a lot of energy. But
Okay.
this one makes work easier.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. I see the questions are quite many, so please stay nearby because in the next session is where we are going to be answering all your questions. So please don't go away. Let's go for a short commercial break and then we shall be back.